Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I hope my voice is clear for everyone, right? So we'll go ahead with the notepad. So I give the summary what we discussed in the last session. So last session we discussed about the operators. The operators are like which actually arithmetic operators, assignment operators, relational operators, logical operators, and ternary operators, unary operators. So after that we discussed about the conditional statements. Conditional statements. The conditional statements actually we discussed all about simple if, and we discussed about if else, and we discussed about if else if, and next we discussed about nested if, and we discussed about switch case. These are the five conditional statements we discussed in the last session. These are the five conditional statements we discussed in the last session. Okay, fine. Today we'll go ahead with looping statements. What does it mean by looping statements? Why the JDK people they introduce the looping statement? We'll go ahead with the looping statements. Looping statements. The purpose of looping statement is generally which is used to execute the statements repeatedly. Execute the statements repeatedly. Execute the statements repeatedly. Repeatedly. Repeatedly until the condition is true. So looping statements so generally which is used to execute the statement repeatedly. For example, if I take the public class and the class name is some demo, if I would like to take some demo, and from here to here this is the scope of the class, and inside like normally if you take any method like public static void main, and I can say string and aux. If I take any statement, for example, I would like to take here some system dot out dot println some text. I would like to take some hello. So this statement I need to print 10 times if the business requirement is like this. Like if any specific code, if you want to print a multiple times, then we have the topic that is the looping statements. Then we have the topic that is the looping statement. Looping statements are where actually which is used to execute the statements repeatedly. Execute the statements repeatedly. Execute the statements repeatedly. In Java, there are four looping statements. Those are while looping statements, and next we have do while, and next we have for loop, and nested for loop, and for each loop. For each loop, these are the looping statements we have in Java. These are the looping statements we have in Java. So we'll go ahead with one by one. Generally, what does it mean by looping statement meaning? We'll go ahead with the while loop. So while loop meaning, so while loop which is used to execute the statements until the condition is true. Execute the statements until the condition is true. Until the condition is true. Which is used to execute the statements until the condition is true. Until the condition is true. Okay. So what is the syntax for while block is syntax. While is the predefined keyword. So whenever you are writing the while meaning predefined keywords, you should follow the naming conventions, which is all characters should be in lowercase. So while is the predefined keyword. and from here to here, from open curly braces to close curly braces, this is scope. This is the scope of the while block, and inside we will write some condition, and the condition is generally I would say, in when we will go with the while block is until the condition is true, we can go ahead with the while loop. Until the condition is true, we can go ahead with the while loop. So whenever you are writing the while looping statements, so there actually we need to aware of three things. One is initialization, and updation. Updation, we can say increment. Next we have increment condition. These are the three things you should be aware. So normal I will write one program and then I will show you. I will go to my, where is my project actually. This test is my project. I am going inside my project. Now here I would like to create one file. Demo.java. Demo.java public class demo, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class, and here you can take the main method, public static void main string box, can say main method. Okay, fine. Now here I would like to take some condition like int a equal to, I would like to, initialization is the initial, the basic number I am taking, which is actually 0, and then here I am taking the while block, and then here from here to here, this is the scope of the while block. So here I will mention the condition. What condition should I mention? A less than 5. Inside I will mention sysout statement, system.out.println. Here I would like to mention hello, and then I'm saving the file, and I will go to wherever the file is available. You can go to the file location, open command prompt, and run the Java file. Run Java file. Run Java file. Java c demo.java. So the file has successfully compiled. Now Java and demo. Click on that. So you can see which is executing continuously. Meaning if I have opened my laptop after 1 year, if I open my laptop after 1 year also, it will print, it will keep on executing. If I open my laptop after 10 years also, it is keep on executing. It is keep on executing. If my laptop have the charging, so the charging is enough. If my laptop has the charging, so it will keep on printing. It will keep on printing. But as my requirement, I want to print the statement only the 5 times. Only the 5 times. You can stop. Now you can come here. So as of now, what in the program, the internally which happens generally, a is assign the value. This is called, I would say, this is called initialization. We are initializing the value initialization, and next this is called condition. This is called condition. Okay, and next Now as of now, you can try to understand. We assign the value 0. Okay, the controller will come here and it will check the condition, or the condition here which is having a 0 less than 5. So the condition is satisfied, right? Meaning the condition is not satisfied. Okay, less than, meaning the condition is not satisfied. Then the controller will go inside and it will execute. It will execute this statement at one time. One time it will execute. Okay, again it will go to the condition. The condition it will check. So the condition which is not false, the condition is the false. Then again the controller will go inside the while block and it will print second time. It will print the second time. So until the condition is satisfied, it will keep on printing. It will keep on printing. So in this case, this program never satisfy the condition. Then how we can satisfy the programmatically? We can mention a plus plus. A plus plus meaning this is the increment. This is the increment. Increment meaning here this is the condition and this one is the initialization. This is the initialization. So in this case, increment, like what does it mean by increment and decrement, we seen in the last session. We seen in the last session. Like in previous sessions, we learned about what does it mean by increment. Now A is initialized with 0. The controller will come here. So which is not satisfied, it will come here and it will print at one time. It will print at one time. Okay, fine, very good. And then again, so it will come here and what it is doing, what it is doing, the purpose of this one is it is reinitializing. The purpose of a plus plus meaning, the purpose of a plus plus meaning it is reinitializing the a variable, reinitializing the reinitializing reinitializing the a variable, and which is used to reinitialize the variable and doing the increment, and which is increment by 1, which is increment by 1. Okay, which is increasing and reinitializing. Now meaning a initial value is the 0, increment by 1 meaning now a become 1, a become 1. Okay, now it will come to the condition 1 less than or equal to 5 is, it will come, it will print the condition and again it will go to here and it will increment by 2, it will increment by 1, so the value is 2, and like this the circle will happen, the loop will iterate the values like this, and again it will go here, it will print, and again it will come here and a increment by 1, a become 3, and so next a become 4, a become 4, and the next a become 5. So when it reaches the 5, 5 less than 5, no, no, right? So the condition is satisfied. Until the condition is true, it will keep on executing the statements. So that is called while block. That is called while block. So if I go here and if I run this one, you can see save the file and you can come here, java c demo.java, and I can say java demo. You can see which is printing only 5 times, which is printing only 5 times, which is printing only 5 times, which is printing only 5 times. Okay, this is with respect to while loop. This is with respect to while loop. So the same thing I will show you the MS Word also will try to understand. Yeah, these are the looping statements actually we have. We are discussing about the while block. So this is the some flow diagram actually. The flow diagram is, I would say, the program starts and check the condition. Check the condition. If the condition is false, so here the program start and it will check the condition, and if the condition is false, then it will execute. So here what will happen generally, here this is the condition, the controller will come here. So 5 less than or equal to 5 meaning now it will satisfy the condition, meaning 0 less than 5 meaning the condition is true. If the condition is true, then it will go to here. So while block, which is used to execute the statements until the condition is true. Until the condition is true. For example, here we can go ahead with here. So this is the program for that while block, while demo. Three things are required. The three things are actually initialization, condition, and increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. This is the simple program. This is a simple program, and this is the flow diagram. So program starts, and it will check the condition. If the condition is false, if the condition is false, then it will execute, it will exit, and if the condition is true, it will keep on looping. It will keep on looping. And next where we have the do while block. So do while block, where actually what is the difference between the while and do while is, next we have do while. Do while. Do while is also same, which is used to execute the statements, which is used to execute the statements until the condition is true. Until the condition is true. Condition is true. The syntax for do while loop is, I can say do, and from here to here this is the scope of the do block, and after that while, this is the scope of the while block. So here we will mention the condition, meaning before checking the condition it will execute at least one time. That is the thing here. Before checking the condition in do while, before checking the condition, before checking the condition, do block will execute. Do block will execute at least one time. At least one time. Okay, before checking the condition, do block will execute at least one time. At least one time. If the condition is true or false, also no matters. But it will check. It will execute at least one time. It will execute at least one time. But in this case, not like that. In this case, not like that. It will check the condition, then only it will go and then it will print the values. But in this case, before checking the condition, it will keep on printing. This is the syntax. So how we can write the program on it? Here I will take one more file and create new file. The new file name is actually, we can mention the name as do while dot java. Public class, and the class name I would like to mention to you guys. The class name is anything. The class name you can mention anything. Okay. The class name you can mention anything. Okay. Class name you can mention anything, guys. So from here to here, this is the scope of the class, and every program execution start from the main method. uh, I can say public static void main. Here do while, we can take first do keyword, and this is the scope of the do block, and inside we can take the while block, and here actually this is the scope of while, and here we can take some values, meaning int a or int x equal to, I'm doing initialization. I'm doing here initialization, meaning I'm taking as the one, and here I will mention print statement system.out.println, and then we can mention here some hello or any text you can mention, and then okay. So here I am mentioning the condition. The condition is x less than or equal to some file, less than or equal to some file. Okay, I am saving the file. Now if I execute this one, then it will keep on printing, why? Because so whenever you are writing the looping statements, three things are required: initialization, condition, and increment or decrement. So in this case, initialization we took, and then condition we took, but where is the increment we can mention in this line. Save the file, and now you can see where actually now generally what is happening. One, we initialize with x, we are assigning the one value to the x variable, and then the controller will go here and it will execute hello one at one time. And what it is doing, it is x is reinitializing and incrementing by one and reinitializing, and it will check the condition. Until the condition is true, it will keep on printing. It will keep on printing. It will keep on printing. So that I will show you the programmatically. Open wherever Java file is available, you can go to that file location, and while demo.java, here you can mention with java c while demo.java. So some file name is do while, right? Yeah. Java c file name is do while dot java java do while. You can see it is printing. Like if you give the numbers also, you can print the numbers also from like 1 to 5 numbers also can print. Now if I go here, compile the file, system.out.println. The numbers, you can give the numbers, you can mention. Now you can go to the here, compile the file and run the file. You can print the values. You can print the values. So see, like that you can print the numbers in reverse order also. If you want to print the numbers in reverse order, you can take here as the big number, and here you can mention as the decrement. The decrement, and which is actually here you can mention greater than or equal to 0. 0. Save the condition and again go here. Like that you can do the multiple programs. I can run that one. Now you can see all the numbers are printing in reverse order. Okay, so we can print in forward direction and we can print in reverse direction as well. We can print in reverse direction as well. So this is with respect to do while. Do while is generally, so before checking the condition it will print at least one time. So if the condition is might be anything, that might be the true or that might be the anything. So before checking the condition it will print at least one time. It will print at least one time. So that is called do while. So what is, so in some interviews they will be asked the question, what is the difference between while and do while? While and do while, can you please explain? So in while, where actually, so after checking the condition only it will execute. But in case of do while, before checking the condition it will execute the statements. It will execute the statements. It will execute the statements. So that is the only the difference between while and do while. And also whenever you are going with the looping statements, you should be remembered. Three things. What are the three things actually? Initialization and condition. Next, increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. These are the three things you should be remember. In looping statements, there are three things you should remember. These are three things you should remember. Next, we have the loop for loop, right? For loop, you can see in this case the initialization I gave in, I took in one line, and do I took in one, I mean condition I took in one line, and these are the I took in different lines, different lines. So it is increasing the lines of code, right? So actually we have the for loop. So in that for loop we can do all the things in single line only. So that is the thing. You can do all the things in single line. All the things in single line, meaning for, and here we can say initialization and initialization, and we have the next condition, and next we have increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. And from here to here, this is the scope of class. This is the scope of the class. This is the scope of the this is the scope of the for block. For block. This is the scope of the for block. This is the scope of the for block. So where actually here we wrote all are in three different lines. But in case of for loop, we can write in all in single program. We can write it all three things in single line. All the three things in single line. All the three things in single line. That I will show you the programmatically. I will go here. I will create one more file. File name I will mention This is for demo dot java. Public class and for demo, and from here to here this is the scope of the class. And next this is the main method. You can take the main method, public static void main string of. Here you can take for loop condition. You can take into a equal to 1, and then next this is the initialization. Now you can take the condition a less than or equal to some 5. Okay, and increment meaning a plus plus. Okay, fine. From here to here this is the scope of the for block. This is the scope of the for block. And here where actually you can take with the system dot out dot println, and here we actually take the a. Now instead of writing 3 steps, you can write all the 3 things in single line. So in this case what happens, this is the initialization, condition and increment. So initialization, first it will come here, it will print first where actually first it will check, it will come here and it will check the condition. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is okay. The condition is 2. Then it will come here and it will print at one time. It will print it at one time, and now a is increment by 1, meaning a value become 2. So a value become 2. 2 less than or equal to 5. 2 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is true, meaning it will come here and it will print. So until the condition is complete, until the condition is satisfied, it will keep on executing. It will keep on executing. That I will show you the program run. I will run the file and then I will show you. Open command prompt and Java C for demo.java. So the file has successfully compiled, and the file demo, yeah, you can see. Here we will be having the question. So while loop also doing the same thing, and this is also doing the same thing. Then what is the difference between the while loop and this one? So where actually what is here in the, this is the entry question. What is the difference between while loop and do while loop? While loop and do while loop. This is the entry question. This is the enter question. So while loop also doing the same thing and do while loop also doing the same thing. Then what is the difference between the while and do while? So while loop, before I would say it will check the condition and then it will execute. And do while loop, before checking the condition it will execute. Okay. And next, one more important entry question they will ask. What is the difference between the while and for loop? What is the difference between while and while loop and for loop? While loop and for loop. So where actually this while loop, this is the condition based loop. This is the condition based loop. This one is condition based loop. Condition based loop. Okay, but this one is range based loop. Range based loop. So what does it mean by condition meaning? So based on the condition it will execute. This is the number. For example, if you want to print the hello world or anything dummy message, if you want to print the like 10 or 20 times, then you can go ahead with the for loop. This is called range based loop, and this is condition based loop. This is conditional based loop. So based on the condition, it will execute. Based on the condition, it will execute. This is the condition based loop, and this is the range based loop. Range based loop. For example, if you want to go to the Martali and came back to the BML layout some 20 times, there you know already range. Range meaning you know already how many times you want to go and come. 20 times you want to go and come, right? So that range you know. But if you don't know the range and if you want to execute the entire file, for example, we take the file. So in the file there are multiple statements, and if you want to execute all the file, then you can go ahead with the while loop. You can go ahead with the while loop. Then we can go ahead with the while loop. Okay, next after that we have the nested for loops. You can go ahead with the oh, nested for loop is also easy. Nested for loop. Nested for loop meaning one for loop available present in another for loop. For example, already how you write the for loop. So you can write the condition and then condition next initialization condition increment or decrement. Okay, and after that from here to here, this is the scope of the block. So this is one for, and the same for I am copying, I am keeping inside. That's it. This is called nested for loop, and so simply nested for loop meaning one for loop we will place inside the for loop is called nested for loop. So the purpose of this when we will go with the nested for loop meaning, so where we have the pattern printings, pattern printings. So if you want to print the pattern printings, if you want patterns, you can go ahead with the patterns. You can go ahead with nested for loop. Nested for loop. Okay, we can go ahead with the nested for loop. So what are the patterns? So I will write a small program. Like if you search in the Chrome also, there are multiple patterns. Where actually patterns in Java can go with the images. So see, these all the patterns. These kind of patterns you can print. So how you can print by using the nested for loops. Nested for loops. So if you go here, so these are the many examples they gave actually. When you have the free time, so you can go and look into these websites also. So when you have the free times, you can go with the these websites and you can try to get uh, these are the some multiple patterns will be there. So if you want to print the multiple pattern, then that you can do it by using nested for loop. So here I will take one more program, take a file. The file name I would like to mention nested for dot java and public class nested for, and from here to here this is the scope of the class, and the public static void main. We can take we'll take two for loops. This is the one for loop which is outer for loop, and we are taking one more for loop. This is the inner for loop. This is inner for loop. Here we can do initialization int a equal to, I am doing 0 or 1, anything you can take as a initial number. Next condition a less than or equal to, I would like to take some 5, and then a increment or decrement. Increment meaning plus plus. Similarly, inside also I am taking one more condition, int b equal to 1, and b a less than or equal to 5, and this is a b, right? Next b plus plus, and here I am taking system dot out dot println, and then here I would like to mention some pattern. So I would like to mention some pattern, that is stitch I am giving, and then okay, and then here I would like to take one more print statement, system dot out dot println. So now I will print this one, and then I will show you how it will give the results to us. You can go to wherever the file is available, you can go ahead with that, and Java C nested for dot Java, and the Java nested for, so which is printing all in the straight line, but we don't want the straight line, we want to print which is in pattern, with the help of some pattern. Then you can see, now we can go to the command prompt where actually it is available. Go to the command prompt. Yeah, my ball can now can come here, Java C nested for dot Java. Now which is printing all in some rectangle bar and all. This is the one type of pattern. I want another patterns also. For that you can go with the program. Here you can mention, for example, if I mention A and then save, go and then see the pattern, how the pattern it will print. So see, it will print the pattern like this. So like that you can print a number of patterns. We can print number of patterns. So I will go the document and then show you how the document. So for each group which is used to pattern buildings, pattern printings. So this is all about looping statement, guys. So in the looping statement, what we discussed actually, I give the summary. In the looping statement, we discussed about while loop. Next we discussed about do while loop, and we discussed about for loop, and we discussed about nested for loop. Nested for loop, and in that we have the for each loop also. So this for each loop we will discuss at the time of arrays. At the time of arrays we will discuss. Okay, we will discuss. So this is all about looping statement, guys. While loop, do while loop, for loop, and nested for loop. Nested for loop. Anyone have any queries? So today what you guys will do, in your assignment, you can write a program on while loop. Write a program. Write a Java program. Java program using while loop. This is the one program, and similarly, do while also, and for loop also, and nested for loop. We can go here in the net, and then we can go here and you can try to understand the printings, and then you can do 3 or 4 patterns. You can take any 3 or 4 patterns, and then you can think and print the pattern, and that patterns you can share in the group. So total 4 assignments: while, do while, for, and nested for loop. Nested for loop. So this is all about today's session, guys. So anyone have any questions? So every Friday we'll be having the doubt session, guys. So if you have the doubt session meaning today is only the doubt session only. Okay, so every Friday we'll be having the doubt session. If you have any doubts, you can note down and then you can ask me the Friday, every Friday. Any other questions, anyone?